Journey. And for what? No, this has nothing to do with climate change.
When we started this project, we probably thought that most people would think this is about global warming, just because it's like us and everything. But it has absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever. It's more of like keeping the earth good for everybody, like not overusing our resources. And basically
Have no fear.
Suck-ups. We want to become friends with our planet, or at least get to know it a lot better. You don't have to be a hippie to respect our planet. One way in which you can connect with nature is to explore it. We had the chance to bike through Dean Lakes in Shakopee, and we found so much nature.
A really cool part of it I've learned about is the history of the whole entire Dean Lakes area. It used to be massive in like the 1800s. Like there was no 169 obviously. Like it went down to the Minnesota River and up through Prior Lake. Like it was huge. And then they'd already kind of been here. But when the Europeans actually began to settle in Minnesota and in the metro area, like suburbia, it began to disappear. In 1850 was the biggest year for it to begin to go away. The things that used to be here were like a big, massive amount of vegetation, massive amount of animals. And then the European agriculture happened and only the stuff they liked stayed. And we lost a lot of the ecosystem. 1950s, all through 1990s, it lost more and more and more and more. 1990s, 169 was built. And yeah, that whole road is probably one of the biggest reasons for the loss
Once
of
the Europeans like settled here, well, when they did, this whole place used to be a whole savanna with like tons of oak trees and tons of vegetation. And once they came, it basically all got cut away. And now and before, the fires that came through this area were super important. The oak trees keep growing, and also to keep the middle brush out so the trees could grow. And also, the buckthorn that's growing here is one of the invasive species that they're trying to get rid of to also help promote this area. And once they do that, the trees have more space to grow and it can become more like its natural way that it was before.
But again, they're trying to help it out. So by stormwater coming in from off the streets and everything, it's coming to help the plants grow. They're planting them in certain areas specifically so stormwater can help it. So along with restoring it, you can also, if you want something like this in your backyard, you can make a rain garden. You just have to plant your plants in a certain area so the water from your house or off the streets rush into it and help it out. So there's certain plants you can do. You'd have to research that, but just learn more and plant it. Just plant your stuff in a certain area and then you're good to go.
There are lots of other places like Dean Lakes and Shakopee alone. In Shakopee High School, teachers and students have already taken the initiative to start this environmental change. These teachers are also doing something to help the environment.
I bike to school when I can, which is most days. Try to go year round. Just get to put new tires on my bike. But I guess rather than preach about environmentalism all the time, my sort of approach is just to when we can, if we can take measures to reduce carbon emissions, reduce pollution, and show people that this kind of transportation works. That I'm gonna do that when I can, rather than talk about it all the time. So that's sort of my approach to environmentalism.
Besides all the regular stuff most community members do, recycling household items and fluorescent bulb exchanges and all that, but a little special thing that I have going is I probably have the most beautiful compost pile, effective compost pile in the city of Shakopee. It's amazing. It has 3 bins, it's large, and I throw all my grass and plant matter from my gardens and so on into the bin, and it makes perfectly good soil in a year. So I'm real proud of that accomplishment.
I guess what it means is the beauty of it, and I like to see us preserve the beauty of it. And you asked where the most beautiful spots are, and of course we have the United States and that'd be Colorado, but my best memories are Norway in the fjords, which is gorgeous if you've never seen it, or down in the Mediterranean along Nice, Italy, Greece. It's gorgeous.
To be environmentally conscious, I bought a fuel-efficient car.
What I like to do for my part for the environment is I like to do gardening, and I like to plant native plants. I'm really trying to remove any exotic plants, which means anything that doesn't belong here. And so I'm planting native plants, and I like to put out bird seed and different bird houses and things to encourage the native wildlife to come to my yard. And so sometimes it means like leaving a dead branch on a tree in order that the animals have somewhere to live in the winter and they have a place to get insects and bugs and things like that.
I recycle more than anyone else on my block.
Okay, I'll come out and yell your name.
So I use reusable grocery bags every time I go to the grocery store.
I do recycling.
I do large loads of laundry.
We take the compost at lunch, all 3 lunches every day. Everything goes in except for plastic and metal. Metal goes into a separate container which we also recycle.
It's not just teachers that are role models in this environmental change. It's students as well. These students feel the same way the teachers do.
I like to work in the summer. I reuse my water bottles. I watch Disney Channel Friends for change.
I bike in the summer just so I can save the environment by no CO2 in the air.
I recycle at my house because it's good for the earth.
Well, because of the lakes, you can go swimming. And you know, with my cabin and everything, then you can go swimming. I like nature. I don't know. What it means to me would be that I like going out when it's really warm. And like for instance, the other day I walked home because I didn't want my mom to come pick me up because it was really nice out. I don't know. I just like it makes me feel better. Nature's a good thing. It makes me feel better.
I don't eat meat.
I like to swim.
One time I saved a tree from fire.